Hello and welcome on my channel. This time I'm going to show you my new project. As already mentioned in the last video, I've started a new project some month ago, and today I would like to show my first steps. The first video will be a bit more informative, but in the end of the video I will show some footage of the current state. So let's start the video after the intro. After Road to City, I was looking for a new game idea, and over the past few years I always collected my ideas in a OneNote. Of course I can't show my library to you because one of the ideas might be an option for the project after the new project, but this time I had to figure out what idea is the best fit for my next project. Regarding the new game, I had several goals. First, not creating my own engine again. This takes very much time and I wanted to invest more time in gameplay. Second, addressing multiple platforms. My last game, Road to City, was only released on Steam for Windows, Linux and Mac, but I would love to release a game for the Nintendo Switch. And third, keep it short. Road to City took around 5 years of development with some idle time in between, but I want it to be faster and I want the new project to be finished by the end of this year. Honestly, I didn't know what idea I should take, so I decided to stop thinking and play a bit by myself. And one of the games I've played was Mini Metro, which is a strategy simulation game where you have to create a subwork network for a city. I was inspired by the simplicity of the game and that it makes so much fun. As you might know, I'm also a huge fan of building games, so I also played a lot of Anno 1800, and I thought I could combine these two game genres to create a game which hasn't been made so far. I was looking through my ideas and there was one concept which actually was quite a good fit for my plans, so I decided to go with that one. And to stop talking around, I will now give you the information you are looking for. The new project is called Mini Countries, and it's a level-based strategy puzzle game where you have to build up a resource transport network for a country. The camera will be in fixed perspective from the top. I started by doing some prototyping with very simple graphics first. For a first concept, I created a 2D project and tried to implement the core functionalities I had in my mind. I mostly thought about creating the game for mobile first, so I had the idea of collecting resources by keeping the mouse button pressed when a city requests a new resource. But I thought about how this will affect the player in a bigger level with several cities, so he would need to do this all the time and this will get annoying for the player. So I had to think of another idea and I started a new prototype in 3D. I started modeling Europe in Blender since I plan to be able to play all European countries in the final game, and the first level I've set up was Germany. So I created some assets like a tree model, a simple house, a windmill and stuff like this, and I added simple functions like finding other buildings in a radius or replace existing assets on placing a new building. But again, I wasn't really happy with the look and the concept I actually had in my mind, so that prototype also went into the dustbin. So I focused on writing a much more detailed concept I could go with, and after a while I had some pretty nice ideas and I pitched them to some friends and I finally started the project, which I'm now currently working on. Before I start talking about the game, I want to quote a comment I got under my last video. GentleXD wrote in the comments, "Isn't the new game very similar to Bound Fox's past game Port Empire?" And the short answer is no, it's not at all. For those who don't know, Port Empire was a project from Bound Fox. He's created a Devlog series about creating a low poly city builder where you have to build up a village in a classic Anno style. You produce little villagers and you have to assign jobs to them. Later on he planned to have different cultures, but unfortunately he cancelled the project last year. And he's now concentrating on tutorials. If you look at first sight, it may look quite similar, but that's just simply a low art poly style, which is very easy to make for all the indie developers, so that's why a lot of other developers also use that kind of style in their games. My game has a completely different concept and genre. I've also spoken to Bound Fox to tell him that I don't want to copy his game idea, because I know that he put a lot of passion into Port Empire, and that's what I fully respect. But now back to Mini Countries. The level you can see in the background is the first level the player jumps into. It's pretty simple also from a resource perspective. There's only wood, wheat and a bit of farmland. Each level or country has a global resource demand, which is visible at the upper top. This demand is valid for each city within the country. Cities will not be placed by the player, but will appear randomly over time. And you as the player have to take care of each city to get access to the resource which is requested. To produce resources, you have to place trade buildings on the resource type within a city radius. Trade buildings will automatically be connected to the city by an invisible connection and start producing instantly. Each city has a stock where resources can be stored, but the stock is quite small for a city. To exchange resources from one city to another, you can also create connections between these two cities. Each city can only have one connection, so it's only possible to connect 2 cities with each other, but not 3 cities. To connect multiple cities, you have to create a storage building, which has to be outside the city radius. Storage also has the positive effect that you can store way much more resources than in a city stock. Each level has a goal, which might be a people goal or a resource goal or something else. I'm not sure about this so far, so I have a lot of more ideas to tell, but this will be part of the next video in this Devlog series. So that's how the project has started, and you now know which process I've been through. Yeah, hope you liked the video. Press the thumbs up if you did. Activate the bell so you won't miss the next video. Hope you have a great start into the next week. See you next time. Cheers!